Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my current status of my party because it is the new week and there have been actually a few changes surprisingly to my party, so I'm just going to go over those. Now, before I begin though, I'll start off this video as always by talking about dragon farming results and move on from there. Now, there is actually one last thing I should mention before I get into this video, and that's about the Ancient Beckoning, right? Apparently, Hugin and Munin, if the score is carried over, your score will automatically show here. So because right now I am still showing no ranking and no damage, it means I have to do this battle. Okay, so it does not seem to carry over from based on your achievement list's highest score value here. You actually have to play this out at least once. Once it starts carrying over properly, your damage will be shown here automatically, and you'll know. So it's that simple. If there's no value here, it means you have to play it one more time. Long story short. So I believe it should be every single battle you have to do one last time. So far we've done Jormungandr since the patch. We do this Hugin and Munin. Then I think you'll have to do those other 3 battles one time. One last cycle, and then you will automatically get the carryover scores from here on out. So that's about Ancient Beckoning. So with that mentioned, let's move on to talk about the Dragon Farm results. So I'm just going to bring that up. Oh, and also talk about my crystals and voucher status as well, right? That's also kind of, I guess, important information for people who want to know. Just give me a moment to bring that up. And then we'll move on from there. So let's see. Oh boy. Having a little bit of problems right now, so give me a moment. It's because... Sorry. Let's see. Wait, let's try that one more time. Alright, there we go. Okay, so last Monday, I had 65 vouchers, 5419 crystals on hand, right? I actually went a bit crazy and used it all up, everything, on the current banner. Logic says I really shouldn't, but I did it anyways. So I was down to basically 0 crystals and 0 vouchers on Thursday. Thursday or Friday, don't even remember. In any case though, from there, I've already rebuilt actually 11 vouchers, not 10, and 1745 crystals. Okay, so that's pretty good for 4 days, right? Now, granted, there were some events that give you 3 vouchers and so on and so forth, and crystals. So that's why there is this decent amount of build up already. So overall though, it's a solid increase. So I guess I'll briefly go back, and in terms of the Dragon Farm results, well, it's what you see here. The previous week, I got 9, and then last week, I got 7, right? The gambles, I pretty much already went over in last week's video, so I'll skip that. The main thing is, Timeless Trial gave me an Elven Ring, gave me an Elven Belt, which was Ord. And the Forbidden Store, which is from the Forbidden Battlegrounds, gave me a Winged Shin Guard. This is my 4th copy, I guess. So that's why I have a Winged Shin Guards. The second one is now at level 40. Other than that, those 7 SSRs that I mentioned is a Carbon Fiber Helmet or Assault Headgear or a Battery Destructress, which gave me a level 41 because that's my 3rd one. Loki's Mask was Ore, Jormungandr's Eye, which I've kept for now, and then a Cursed Lance, my 3rd one. In addition, I did do 6 random accessory box gambles because I got so few SSRs, and I actually got 1 SSR from it. So it was a Holy Grail, which I've currently kept as well. So overall, mainly ore, nothing really useful to me at this time, but that's what I got so far. In addition to this, okay, so let's move back into the game now and mention a few things. So, I should mention that with regards to my gambles here, I already did them all this week. And the reason I did them all, in fact, was because I actually was recording this video earlier. I did the gambles, and unfortunately, afterwards, when I reviewed the video, my microphone was muted. Because my microphone was muted, I have to do a full re-recording. So I can't show the gambles in the video. But what happened was I used up all my ore and then converted it all back into ore. Right? I did all the gambles and then got rid of all those items because they were all basically garbage. Okay. In terms of the 3 weapons, they were the following: a blue star, a broken star, and a peacemaker. So of those 3, the blue star is my very first copy of one, but I ordered the other 2. Right? So where is it? Blue star, blue star, blue star. Still don't see it. All the way down here, blue star. My very first copy. I'm not going to build it up. You know, I already have a Seal Guardian for Leon. Doesn't make sense to build up level 51 and have to enchant it. So it'll just sit here. But it's nice to see that I at least got a copy of one, I suppose. Moving on. The 3 helmets were a carbon fiber helmet, a Nemesis helmet, and assault headgear. All 3 were turned back into ore. And then the 3 armors was a dark robe, goddess dress, and gargoyle jacket. All 3 were also ored. So basically, you can say that I spent, what, 1,800 ore to do the gambles, got 800 back. So in other words, you can basically say I spent 1,000 ore to get a blue star. It's actually pretty shitty, but it's okay. So other than that, I still have to do my 10 purchases of the gift packs this week. I'll probably do either the clocks or breeze. I haven't really decided on which one. And then I can choose to buy 5 of these for 25 more SSR scrolls or buy epic martial spirits. We'll see on that one. I haven't really decided there. So let's move on. Annoyingly enough, I mentioned this and also demonstrated it during the video, but I was doing SR enchants on this Ragnarok. It's a newly built level 50, and it's for PvP purposes. So I now have 2 level 50 Ragnaroks. One on Elwyn, one on Luna, with a 4% magic defense enchant on this. So to roll this enchant, I used up my SR scrolls. So I just used a whole bunch of SR scrolls here. I had, I think, around 120 or so. It's now down to 83, and I got the 4% magic defense. So I can try to roll for 5% and then maybe some hit point increase, but it's not a big deal. At the end of the day, Luna either tanks the hit from magic just fine due to her high magic defense, or she dies to any kind of physical attack anyways, so it's not a big deal whether she has hit points or not. You can't really expect Luna to survive a physical attack in general. So that's what I've created. A new Ragnarok for Luna, in large part to break Shrine Maidens, so that when she attacks any potential Shrine Maidens, she can crush them. Of course, I will also choose to rotate between the Ragnarok and the Cursed Lands that she has. So it's kind of a, you know, mix. You won't know which equipment my Luna currently has. That's basically what it is. So that's Luna. Other than that, last week I also rolled a bunch of clocks enchants, SR scrolls, and I managed to roll this on the Red Moon. 15% int with 10% int increase. So this is an SR scroll, that's why there's only 2 stat boosts. And it's just nice to see that you can get something like that using SR scrolls instead of SSRs, right? So what I generally do is, in terms of scroll usage, SRs are used for the weapon or accessory, and then the SSRs are used for armor, helmet, and maybe accessory. That's what I generally do, because I generally aim for good multiple good stats, like 2 or 3 good stats on the helmet and armor, right? And even on the accessory, you generally want 2 or 3 good stats. Let's say plus 10% attack, and then maybe some plus hit points or plus defense or whatever, right? Whereas the weapon, you really just want max attack. So you only need 2 stats on the weapon, whereas everything else wants 3, ideally. So that's why I split up my scrolls that way. And in terms of why I want breeze or clocks, well, there's a whole bunch of characters that I'm still enchanting up, right? I'm constantly setting up new sets of gear. So that's why, you know. I probably am seriously overkill on gear, right? That's why my individual sets are not that great, although my total power is ridiculous, right? But, you know, if I were to optimize fully for PvP, in truth, I have a lot of sets of gear that I can break apart and turn into ore, and then, you know, focus all my enchants on the 15 sets that I use for PvP. But that's not what I do. So you can call it a laziness factor. I prefer to have so many sets so that I don't have to move gear around for when I do, let's say, Ancient Beckoning or when I do Guild Wars for auto battling. It just saves me some time. You know, at the end of the day, unlike some other players, I'm not super serious about Apex Arena. I get into Langrisser rank eventually, but I'm not really serious about it. So those are pretty much, I think, the new enchants that I've done, right? The Ragnarok build for Luna, and of course that Red Moon that I will have to level up later. I actually have lots of gear I want to build up right now. There's this, for example, there's this Red Moon, right? There is, for example, the all the Hands of Tyr that I have, right? There's, you can see here, there's 4. Sorry, there's 5 in total. I have 2 built right now. I still have 3 more to build up. Okay. Other than these, there's also items like what was it? A King's Crown for Illustrial, right? I have 4 copies of King's Crown, so I want to build this one up for Illustrial because I plan to use her. So, you know, and then there's, of course, another Chief's Helmet, maybe, for any other Lancer, Infantry, Cavalry class characters to provide the buffs to allies. Not too sure on that one. I don't think I really need it. I think the Hands of Tyr are better overall, but that is another item I can build up. And yeah, so a whole bunch of gear that I can build up and will build up, but not right now. And that's why the ore is so important, right? So in terms of gear that I'm missing then, still pretty much the same. Okay. Weapon-wise, I still need an Extreme Magic Bow, at least 1. I would like a copy of a Demon Slayer, but that's more of a nice to have. And I would like to have a copy of a Mimir's War Axe for Yusuke when he's fully built. But that's a long time away. Okay. Armor-wise, it's still, I want more Last Sprites. I want another copy of Aeolus' Battle Armor if possible. I only have 1 right now. And I think, and oh, of course, I want more copies of Tenyo's Robes. The thing about Tenyo's Robes, though, I should mention is I actually don't use that many mages right now. Although I do use holy characters. So they're not as vital right now. You know, it would just be nice to get more copies. Because if we look at my Apex team, I actually really don't have any real mages in it. Just briefly jumping into there. I'll jump into there afterwards. Okay, let's just continue with talking about the gear first. So headgear wise, what I really need in terms of headgear is, of course, more King's Crown. Archers and Assassins seems to dominate in the numbers in my party, so more King's Crowns are always nice to have. I actually want a second copy of a Soul Stealer headdress because of that 50% chance to silence skills of enemies within 3 blocks, right? I could use another copy. And of course, I want more Tenyo's headdresses. Okay. So whether you use a Tenyo's headdress or a Soul Stealer headdress can often be a tough choice, but I generally think that Tenyo's headdress is good for characters who hang back, like healers and Yusuke and so on. And then the Soul Stealer headdress is for your mages and those characters who move up in advance, like Bozo and so forth. Right? In this case, for this Soul Stealer headdress, the biggest reason I want it is because I need a copy for Bozo. Okay. So that way he can move up, Earthquake, and also have another chance to silence another enemy. The reason for this is because I was rolling an enchant on this Soul Stealer headdress, and I rolled a 10% hit point, 4% increase one. I think I'm going to stick with this and keep it, right? It's a very good enchant. So I was rolling for magic defense, but obviously I got something that is suitable for all my other mages and so on. So I'm just going to keep that. So hopefully I'll pick up another Soul Stealer Headdress that I can give to Bozo. You know, this one in particular would be good for any mage I use in PvP, if I do use one, such as, you know, if I decide to throw Rachel into my party or whatever. So there's lots of characters who can use that one. Right. And it's such a good enchant, it's not worth getting rid of. Other than that, last is the accessories. Of the accessories I'm missing, there's a bunch that I actually need. I'm missing a Thor's necklace, which I can ignore. I'm missing Divine Boots, which would be nice to get, but I don't need either. Juggler plushie, I really do need one. A second copy, I do have the gambled version of it, but I could use a Juggler plushie. So I have a teddy bear, but I really do want another character who can get their single unit assist skills to last an extra turn. And then finally, Apex Boots, right? Not much needs to be said about that. I really do need Apex Boots. So there's basically 2 of the accessories I'm missing I really need. The other 2, Divine Boots and Thor's Necklace, I can ignore. However, I also really do want another copy of Sorcerer's Medal. So there's 1, 2, you can say 3 accessories that I truly need more copies of right now. The Swordsmith Medal in particular would be very important for Juggler. Okay. If I can get that, that would be perfect. We'll see how that goes. Moving on. Okay. So that is also why I'm holding on to some SSR enchant packs right now, right? Because I think I'm going to need them to re-enchant gear for Juggler eventually. When I get a Swordsmith Medal, Juggler will 100% get one instead of the Overlord's badge. But until I get one, he will be stuck using that Overlord's badge, which isn't exactly bad per se, but it does mean he has decreased defense and magic defense, so he is more vulnerable to being killed in general. And he also does less damage when he attacks, and he's vulnerable to silence and fixed damage, right? Lots of vulnerabilities right now, which the Swordsmith Medal will fix. So we'll see about that one. So Juggler, looking to replace that accessory if I can. Alright, so that's my current equipment status, and that's, you know, getting those items could change things up for me for Apex Arena a lot. So briefly talking about my Apex party, right? Currently you can see that I don't think I really have any mage except for Bozo. He's the only real mage I have, right? Yulia is an int-based melee attacker, granted, you know. Listel is an int-based attacker, and then I recently threw in Shafaniel. So there is now an int-based attacker. Previously, rather than Shafaniel, I had Bernhard in play here. But what I've realized is I've lost a whole bunch of matches because Bernhard can no longer tank a hit anymore. Okay, so because Bernhard can't tank hits, he dies in one shot. I've decided to remove him for now. So we'll see how that one goes. Haven't tested out this new party yet. So I'm currently at 10 wins, 8 losses. And I really actually should be at 12 wins, 6 losses if I had played properly. Yeah. So I should actually really be at 1700 points right now. But unfortunately, I really dramatically messed up 2 of my fights and lost 2 battles that should have been wins. Yeah. But mostly Mostly though, what I've seen is it's either a guarantee I either win pretty smoothly or lose pretty terribly. You know, for example, facing Newbie, I'm totally crushed. He has both Hiei and a whole bunch of characters built up. You know, this was my first careless loss against Predator, and then another careless loss was to ZHPH, my guildmate. But other than that, it's been pretty straightforward so far. Using Omega, using Zerda, using tank pushes to win, that kind of stuff. But we'll see. Very much, I would just play Arena kind of casually, a few matches per week, maybe 3 or 4. So I'm pretty sure I'll get into Langrisser eventually by doing so. We'll see how that goes. Moving on then. So in terms of the training ground wise, what I've done over this past week was primarily focus on upgrading a Forest Priest. Because Wilder uses them. And I put Wilder in my party. Today, really. And the reason he's gone in is because I literally just upgraded my Wilder to 5 stars. I actually did it in that other video that I mentioned. His Tactical Genius skill doesn't increase any at all, really, from 4 stars to 5 stars. It's not until he hits 6 stars that the range of support skills increases by 2. And then, of course, soldier stats get an increase of 20% stats or something. But so the 4 to 5 star increase is not much. It's really, you have to get him to 6 stars for him to become truly, truly good. So that's why I'm slowly leveling him up. Right? So he's being steadily built as a result. And, you know, Illustrial, steadily growing, and so on. So other than that, Shafaniel, right? I do need to raise her to 6 stars too. So I'll be using her at 5 stars as an experiment to see how well she works. You know, if she doesn't work out, I can simply put back Bernhard. But I think she'll be okay, even though she can't attack that consistently with Demolish and whatnot. We'll see how that works out, right? Then let's move on to talk about the shard farming, right? So, shard farming, I already mentioned last week that I was going to give up on Leonhard. And the reason I'm giving up on Leonhard is because I don't think I'm going to need him as a priority in my party anymore. He's going to get swapped out soon. Yeah. The biggest reason, though, is because of his soldiers. He uses Lancer soldiers, which is my worst training ground. He uses infantry soldiers, which is not a leveled up training ground for me. And he uses cavalry soldiers, which I do have Royal Cavalry leveled up, but that means I only have Royal Cavalry as really the only option for my Leonhard right now. Right? It's due to my training grounds that I can't really use it. Unless I choose to level up my Highland Warriors to level 10, right? And that needs more Dark Necklaces. It's going to be rough. So as a quick aside, what I've really realized recently is that in terms of training ground, I seem to need books. I seem to need Dark Chains and books who are not provided by the characters who provide Dark Chains, right? Dark Chains come from Adon. Oops, I clicked the attack button accidentally. But they come from Adon and they come from Anarchy Samson, which is cavalry, right? Well, right now I'm busy grinding up Jones because I need the Archer and Assassin books, and I want to do Nimes, right, for the Holy and Demon books. You know, Valen and Rocky, I'm currently doing Rocky because I need those books. So it's kind of awkward. I'm needing the books of the other character while needing chains, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, in terms of chains, dire need for them. Forest Priest still needs 9 more, right? And then Archer and Assassin Training Ground, the remaining upgrades all need Dark Chains. No. 7, 8, 9, 10 will need Dark Chains. And then this needs Dark Chains as well. So 7 and 9 there, right? I think this is like 6, 8, and 10 or something like that. And then, yeah, if I also choose to do Highland Warriors, that's going to need Dark Chains. But even if I do Highland Warriors, my training ground in general for infantry is crap. So I'd have to level up a lot of these other techs too to make it work out. So we'll see. Right. So that's why I've temporarily given up on Leonhard, and instead will focus on the other characters that I plan to grind. So how does my current grinding plans look then due to this change? Well, let's bring that up quickly to show you guys, because I've made that adjustment. Alright. So this is what it looks like right now. Okay. So after last week's consideration where I said I was going to give up on Leonhard, that's exactly what I've done. So Leonhard stopped here, and then after that I did 1 Wilder battle and 2 Yusuke battles, and then 3 Yusuke battles to do a total of 5. So I fully unlocked Yusuke's Gate of Fate, right? And after that, it was 3 Illustrials continued all the way through. So, and then Wilder switched to 3 again. The reason I did that is because that way, Wilder is now properly set for 3 shard grinding every day, right? you can see here that I end up with 97 out of 100 Wilder shards. Right? So that means today, right, I start needing 150. So that's divided by 3. 150 divided by 3 is straightforward. It breaks down into 50 days. So that's when Wilder will be complete, right? Whereas before I had those 2 extra runs. So Wilder is now smooth, right? Yusuke has started grinding up and he's at 30 out of 50 here. And then Illustrial will just steadily grind up as well, right? So Illustrial will be done pretty soon. You can see that from this at the end of this current week, it'll be 73, then 94, then 115. Then I only need 35 more shards of Illustrial. You can say 36, right? So that would be 12 more days. So 12 more days after the 5th of April would be, let's say, near the end of April, I guess, around there. So we'll see. So Illustrial will be done in April, right? Wilder will still need quite some time, and Yusuke will be forever, right? Because according to this plan here, Yusuke needs 285 shards, which means 95 days. So he's going to be grinded for a while. Illustrial, though, needs 26 days. And then Wilder will need 50 days. So I'm going to finish up these 3 first. Right? In addition to these 3, I can see that I have it sorted for the other characters by the number of days I need to grind them. And you can see here that Shafaniel needs 20.3 days, so 21 days, right? Alte Muller needs 24 days if I want to raise him to 5 stars. That's very much a... we'll see. I'm not sure about that yet. Leonhard needs 24 days. Rene, if I want to 5-star him, for 5-star her, 29 days. Gizerov, the same, 30 days actually. Young Jessica, 30 days. And then the others are just longer periods of time, right? Bernhardt, for example, 37 days. Lanford, 45 days. Joshua, 45. Sakura, 45. You know, Listel, 50 to 6 stars. Claret and Hiei, I've pretty much given up on because they need 95 days. And there are more heroes coming, right? So these 2 are basically abandoned. So that's my current shard farming status. So most likely what will happen is Illustrial gets finished. I'll do Shafaniel and finish her in 21 days, right? Or sorry, 20 days, because the 0.3 can be combined with the current Illustrial extra run. So, and then at around roughly the same amount of time, 50 days, Wilder and Illustrial and Shafaniel will be finished, and then at that point I can do 2 new heroes. So it's very smoothly, it transitions me to grinding up the new heroes, the upcoming heroes, right? Since I have 2 of them complete. Yusuke will still continue to take some time to grind up to 6 stars. And in terms of new heroes, I'm going to once again briefly bring up that tentative banner guide to see where I should go, right? So Mystery Knight and Virash, there's no way it's happening, right? Akaya and Brenda, I'm not really going to grind up either of their shards. Right? I'm probably going to draw for one of these 2 heroes, but that's pretty much it. You know, if I get Akaya, amazing. If I get Brenda, meh. You know, if I don't get Akaya, I can go with it. So I will actually draw for one of them. I will go from there, right? I should also mention that Joshua and Estelle rerun in 10 days. So next Thursday, right? And then next month, Leonhard and Rene rerun too. This will be an interesting banner because I am actually considering maybe drawing for it. Maybe. Because Leonhard and Rene are both heroes that I could use 50 shards of. So that is an option, right? Drawing is a possibility here. But after that, the thing though, however, is 2 weeks after Leonhard and Rene is rerun is Deedlit and Ashram. Yet another banner that is a collaboration banner, and in my opinion, a must draw because of how good Deedlit is. So very likely, what my current plans may be that because I draw Mystery Knight and Virash, I'll draw for 1 hero on Akaya and Brenda, then I'll save up everything until Deedlit and Ashram and draw there. You know, if I want to level up Leonhard and Rene, I'm going to have to grind shards of them, but Deedlit and Ashram. Getting Deedlit in particular will be too important. So likely my proper play is to draw for multiple copies of Deedlit and Ashram. After that is Maya and Aries in June though. That's very far off. But the Maya and Aries banner, to my knowledge, is just you want Aries. And then Elusia and Shrilinka, you want Shirinka. And then this banner, right? Licorice and Rena, can pretty much be ignored. At least that's my opinion. So, but there is also, so fortunately that banner can be ignored because there is the banner beforehand with the Valentine's event in China, which is the couples event for us, with Landius, Angelina, Lanford, Mystery Knight, and Sigma Claret. For me, that will be required for getting Mystery Knight. If I so wish to get her. Probably. So this is my current banner draw status. In truth, I've mentioned it before, I really should have skipped this banner, saved up everything all the way to Deedlit and Ashram, right? Since I don't plan to use Mystery Knight or Virash, those 150 draws could be saved and better used to get like a 6-star Deedlit ASAP, right? Or get my Leonhard to 6 stars by getting one copy of him and finishing him off by drawing, then draw hard on Deedlit and Ashram. Whatever, at the end of the day, all of this kind of planning is only if you're truly serious about PvP. I'm really not, so it's very much more optional for me at the end of the day. My main goal at the end of the day is if I can get into Langrisser rank, amazing. If I don't get into Langrisser rank, well, you know, so be it. So that's my current setup. So, I think that pretty much concludes this video. Oh, I guess I should talk about bonds, right? One thing I should mention is bonds and actually also the Forbidden Battleground too. So Forbidden Battleground wise, if you don't already know, I purchased the skin vouchers, the SSR accessory, and 2 of the Splendid Stardust so far. So I have a lot of those materials. Source elements I actually have tons of, as you can see. 150, 150, 78, 77. Soul elements pretty much the same. 69, 78, 54, and 35. Now, Course of Supremacy I have 35, so I can upgrade 3 more heroes right now without buying these. Crystal Selection Pack, I spent some time grinding all of these up, doing my 3 daily runs, 3 time rift runs every day, right? Gathering these various materials, but I will purchase this later on, right? And then gold, of course, is gold. So we'll see. I don't think the Forbidden Store changes, right? It's just as the battlefields unlock, you can get more of the items to get all of this stuff. So as long as you can clear out every battlefield, you should be able to buy it all, right? So that's my current Forbidden Battleground status, and as a result of having all these materials, I haven't really done that much bond upgrading in general because all the heroes I use are pretty much fully bonded. You know? Yes, there are heroes like Imelda who are not fully bonded, but that's because I no longer use Imelda, right? I could upgrade her, but why? She's not used in my party right now. Similarly, the characters I'm currently grinding, like Yusuke, is fully heart bonded, as you can see. 81% because I don't have this unlocked yet since he doesn't have access to that class. And finally, you know, Waller, Illustrial are both up here. So they're nearly the max bonds. The biggest reason why I don't upgrade bonds on a lot of these heroes is because of the materials required, right? You're going to need 25 of one type of seed, and then 25 of one type of flower, because there's going to be a 10, then 15, then 10, and 15, right? I don't have that many seeds and flowers to upgrade, to unlock those bonds. That's why I've held off on further upgrades of heroes I don't use, right? In addition to that, my guild points are fairly low. Yes, there's 9,700 right now, but if I buy all of this gold, it's all gone. So that's why I just do incremental upgrades of characters I actually use as a result. Keep in mind as well, I'm busy unlocking hero classes. at this point. That requires resources too. And then after in the case of Illustrial, I'm still finishing up her Ranger class before I do Wolf Rider and Wolf Commander. That's going to need a lot of these upgrade materials, which is also another drain on the guild medals that you have. Right? So guild medal usage wise, I usually buy 10 of this for 1,000,000 gold. Then whatever I have left is split between upgrade the runes and upgrade materials for heroes. And that is ultimately why I'm sitting on so many runestones as well. Currently have 7 on hand. Characters that I still need to upgrade would be the current priority ones would probably be, I think, Shefaniel. Yes, Shefaniel still needs her 2 classes. There is Illustrial, which I just showed, and there is Yusuke, who is further down, who will need his 2nd class. But since Yusuke has, 95 days until he's 6 stars, there's no rush for that one. So for now, I'm going to finish up Illustrial. Once Illustrial is done, start working on Shefaniel. And then once Shefaniel is done, start working on Yusuke. Right? Also, interestingly enough, for example, Rachel, I use her a lot. I still don't have her Bishop and Oracle class, but she hasn't needed them. So I haven't actually, and young Jessica is fully mastered because I use her for PvE content at 4 stars. And that's it. So that's everything I want to say. This was a much longer video than usual because I talked about a lot more things here. And I hope you found this kind of interesting about my current setup and status, right? It's getting interesting for sure. We'll see how things go with regards to my party because really the main reason for me to build up characters at this point is for Apex Arena. In terms of PvE content, I can clear everything with my existing characters. And that's it. So on that note, Nitro out.